And again, coming back to temperate climates and tropical climates. Temperate climates have got a little more advantage than tropical climates, especially the Indian peninsula, in that they have rains almost throughout the year. On the other hand, we are a monsoon-fed country for the large part of our area, right? The peninsular region is entirely, and a little bit of northern India is entirely monsoon-fed. That means that the nature of rivers in India is going to be different than the nature of rivers in Western countries. And therefore, solutions for rivers in Western countries are not going to be copy-paste applicable to Indian conditions. And we have not realized that 75 years after independence, that we cannot make the same embankments that Paris and London can. It's not going to be useful here.
Why was that?
Come again?
I didn't get it. Why is it not the same?
Because they are perennial rivers. Yeah, they've got rainfall throughout their catchment throughout the year, and they have water flowing. They have dilution of sewage. We don't have dilution of sewage. What Pune leaves out is going undiluted towards Ujjain and to Solapur. Right? On the other hand, what London leaves is going to be diluted with a lot of freshwater addition by rain, and that's going to go into the sea. Of course, they don't do that, but they used to do that for a very long time, until the Parliament put up a law saying we don't want floating sewage across when we are sitting in the House of Lords. Is the House of Lords, they call themselves Lords, and they wanted to seem like Lords, but this didn't exist. So European, American, North American rivers are quite different in their nature and the way that they irrigate the land, the way that they originate, all of that. In India, we have a very unique system of rivers, and I think by far the most spectacular system that you will ever find on the planet is in India, in the Indian river ranges. We have about 4 or 5 source regions in the entire country. And the source regions are and
Western
and
Plateau.
no, some plateaus, yes, but almost all the mountain ranges are the source regions. So you have the Vindhyas, the Aravallis, the Eastern Ghats, the Western Ghats, yeah, the Mishimi Hills, the Himalayas, the lower Himalayas, the middle Himalayas, the greater Himalayas. All of those are the source regions of the river. That is where our rivers originate. And all our mountain ranges are actually barriers to the moisture laden clouds, and that is why they have significantly higher precipitation in the monsoon, and that rainfall is going to collect, and it's going to come out in various streams, first order, second order streams, and they're going to join up somewhere and form the mighty rivers that we have. If you were to broadly classify the rivers in India, you could cross-tabulate largely 2 factors. The first is the source region, and the second is where they are draining into. So the largest source regions on the planet are Himalayas and the Western Ghats. All of peninsular India is fed with rains which happen on the Western
Stopped
Ghats.
by Western.
And stopped by?
Western Ghats.
No, the rainfall of Western Ghats is collected and drained. That is how the rivers in peninsular India. The Himalayan rivers originate in the Himalayas, right? So we have 2 types of classification already, originating in the Himalayas and originating in the Western Ghats for peninsular. You can cross-tabulate that with 2 other factors. Where are they draining into? So Himalayan rivers draining into the Bay of Bengal, Himalayan rivers draining into the Arabian Sea. Western Ghat rivers draining into the Bay of Bengal, and Western Ghats rivers draining into the Arabian Sea. You cross-tabulate that, you have a scheme of 4 different types of rivers. And these 4 different types of rivers have unique personalities. The Himalayan rivers which drain into the Arabian Sea all drain out through Pakistan and that area. Yeah, they exit the land through
Indus.
Pakistan. Yeah, all of them. The big rivers of Punjab and the Indus, all of those rivers exit from Pakistan. And therefore, they are transnational waters, as they are called. We have to share the water between us and Pakistan, and us and the other countries. The Himalayan rivers which drain out into the Bay of Bengal form one of the most spectacular landscapes on the entire planet, which is the Sundarban.
Which is
Sundarban.
Sundarban.
Yeah, one of the most ecologically productive places on the entire planet. Those are the Sundarban. So the Ganga, the Yamuna,
Brahma.
the Brahmaputra, the Meghna, all of them feed their silt and organic matter and all the rich alluvium onto the Sundarbans, which makes it so damn spectacular. From Bangladesh, but it originates in the Himalayas. Right? So even Brahmaputra and Ganga, you would have noticed, they originate around the same hill, but one on the north side of the hill and the other on the south side of the hill. But they are completely different personalities originating from the same precipitation. Totally. Kosi River. Do you know what is the source of the Kosi River?
Kosi River. Is there a name? Kosi River. I heard it first
Kosi
time.
River is Mount Everest. Mount Everest drains into the Kosi River, then it joins the GBM, the Ganga Brahmaputra Meghna system, and that forms that. We have some beautiful rivers in peninsular India. We have the largest rivers, Krishna and Godavari, which originate very, very near Puri in the Western Ghats. They go on and meet they are draining into the
From Andhra.
Bay of Bengal, yeah, from Andhra. And on the east coast of India, because you have these large rivers flowing very long distances, you have beautiful mangrove estuaries and deltas. In fact, the deltas on the east coast are so rich that if you look at the Indian map, they have increased our land. I'll try and draw a very poor. So this is the west coast, and if you look at the east coast, it's like this. All of this is the land formation. Right from Mahanadi, Damodar, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, all of them have been putting silt onto our eastern coast, and our land is actually
So
increasing.
otherwise it was like this.
It must have been somewhere like this, right? So this is land addition because of all these rivers going there.
So it
Yeah. It's still increasing, but we have stopped it because of,
in the Western Ghats they stop the rain.
yeah, the Western Ghats are here, and the Western Ghats have this small little gap here. Do you know what is this?
Palak.
Excellent. It's called the Palaghat gap or the Palakkad gap, right? How do you know?
Because I saw on Google Maps in the middle there is.
Absolutely perfect. You know, this Palghat gap is very important for cities in the south, especially Bangalore. Have you ever wondered why Bangalore gets so much rains in the summer? Palghat gap. In this gap, the moisture-laden clouds are able to enter hinterland, and they get all that rain. So you go to Kunnur, you go to Kurg, they always have clouds. That's because of the Palghat gap. This Palghat gap becomes very important. It was also the reason why Tamilians were able to get into Kerala, and there was a mixing of cultures, and even today it happens there. So this Western Ghats are something which are creating all this. And there is one river which goes like this.
Why certain species don't come up.
Sorry?
It is also the reason why certain species of mammals are not found north and some in the south.
Yeah. Well, there are again.
And some tadpoles and some butterflies.
Yeah. So that's also very unique about rivers in India. Many of the rivers have got endemic fauna. And one of the most important things to happen if we also flora, but more fauna. Fauna has smaller organisms and they have a shorter metabolic cycle. So if we interlink our rivers, we are going to kill all this diversity and endemism. So that's, the biota from one river is going to go and mix into another river. And what ecological problem that will have, nobody can ever think of that, because a mathematical model cannot replicate what happens in nature. We don't know nature enough to put it into an Excel sheet or into some mathematical model. Coming back to rivers of India, so these rivers were the lifelines of India. So I have been talking about peninsular rivers. Peninsular rivers are totally separate and they have been coming here, and all of them are seasonally fed. Not so with the Himalayan rivers. They are not seasonally fed. They're fed twice a year. Once in summer with the melting snow and once in monsoon with the rainfall. So therefore, all those rivers continuously have much more water than we have in the peninsula because of the melt, snow melt. And the glaciers, we have literally thousands of glaciers in the entire Hindu Kush Himalayan range. And these are continuously melting and feeding back. But there are also some very unique rivers in India which originate in peninsular India but join the Himalayan river basin. Any idea which of them?
Which originate in peninsular India.
Yeah, and join the Himalayan river system. Yeah, so they travel from south to north.
Sundarbans.
No, not in Sundarbans. In Madhya Pradesh. Entire tiger country is full of those rivers.
Narmada.
The Chambal. No, not
Chambal.
Narmada. Narmada is another unique river. The Chambal, the Son, the Ken, the Betwa. All of these rivers flow from south to north. They originate in peninsular India and they go and meet the Ganga Yamuna system. Very unique. And so likewise, we have rivers which flow from north to south. The Sabarmati is a very unique river in that. The Mahi is also flowing from north to south. And Narmada,
I was asking that.
what about the Narmada?
East to
What is its source region?
No, Amarkantak.
Yeah, Amarkantak is where it originates. But where does it get its water from? It gets its water from a very unique geography. It is sandwiched between the Vindhyas and the Satpuras.
Satpuras.
Right? So it's a very narrow rift valley. And therefore, you have the nation has a very unique river in Narmada which flows from the west
West to east.
All our peninsular rivers flow on the other side. And our Indian plate, if you look at the Indian plate, it is tilted like this. It is lower here and it is higher here. And therefore, all the rivers will drain out here. It's only in the rift valley between the Vindhyas and the Satpuras that you have a negative slope. Rest of the entire country is sloped that way. So in this slope, you have the Narmada flowing there and also the Tapi flowing there. So Tapi just flows beyond that.
But from Western Ghats, the river all flow in Arabian Sea.
Right. Therefore, and that's what I said. This point is lower than this point.
But then how then they go from...
That is the rift valley. So that's
नो नो अरेबियन सी मध्ये कसे जातात
Arabian Sea.
कारण का तो माउंटेन
good
असा
point.
आहे ना काम कायम
So how do Western Ghats rivers go to the Arabian Sea? Which rivers?
Vaishishti, Savitri,
Savitri, Vasishti, Gandhari, Kal,
uh,
Jagbudi.
Parli,
Anybody from Mumbai?
Mithi.
मिठी
Yeah. So all these rivers are very, very short rivers. They originate in the Western Ghats and they travel just about 100 kilometers, 80 kilometers, 150 kilometers and they meet the Arabian Sea. And because it's such a short distance, such heavy precipitation in the Sahyadris get around 6,000 millimeters of rainfall. Around 3,000 millimeters of that rainfall drains into the Arabian Sea and 3,000 millimeters drains into the Bay of Bengal. So when it drains into the Arabian Sea, it is gushing. It is very, very, you get white waters there, like you get in the Himalayan source region. Because there are intense slopes and very short distance from the source region to the sea. And therefore it's very difficult to put dams there. Thankfully. Yeah, because of the slope, because of the water quantity, because of and
So it is good. They cannot-
when you have the hilly regions, rivers are very narrow. They cut deep, they don't go wide. On the plateau, they don't cut deep, they go wide. Right? So if you look at Krishna, Godavari, Yamuna at Taj Agra, not Taj Hotel, so you have very wide rivers because it's on the plateau. But if you look at Himalaya, if you look at Sahyadri, they're very deep gorges being cut continuously as there is severe slope and the water gushes. Like I said, river is a flow of energy, not a flow of water, not just a flow of water. So it cuts deep, and therefore the rivers in Konkan are very unique than the rivers up there. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the economic value. I think we have by and large established the economic value when we talked about agriculture. Right? The foundation of any economy of any nation depends solely upon the food available. And if that is the case, then it depends solely upon the fresh water availability. And if that is the case, it depends solely upon how rivers transport the fresh water and how they recharge groundwater sources. and how much precipitation you have. So it depends solely on the water balance, so to say, in simple language. And therefore, you will see that in India, we have this extremely intricate linkage of fresh water, surface water, which is recharging groundwater and is providing water to so many deep interior parts which are not fed by surface water. Aquifers run long. Divyanshu, you must have talked about groundwater. You had a session on hydrogeology, right? So these aquifers run for literally hundreds of kilometers under the surface, confined aquifers, shallow aquifers, all of this, and they are being recharged by the hydrologic cycle as well as the surface water. So this becomes very important source of how the nation is going to make its food and how that food is going to yield people who are going to make money for the region. So therefore the foundation of the economy is founded up, the foundation of the economy is agriculture. Yeah.
Will you be talking about the plan to connect the rivers?
Yeah, if we have time, little bit.
Maybe a separate subject.
It's, which I am actually not an expert, but there are some